woke up and I knew you were really gone. A new day, a new way, and new eyes to see the dawn. Go your own way, I'll go mine, and carry on. The sky is clearing and the night is bright enough. The sun becomes the world to soften up. Rejoice, rejoice, we have no choice but to carry on. The fortunes of fables are able to see the stars. Now witness the quickness with which we get along. To sing the blues, you gotta live the dues and carry on. Carry on, love is coming, love is coming to us all. Where are you going now? Where will you be tomorrow? Will you bring me happiness? Will you bring me sorrow? All the questions of 1,000 dreams. What you do and what you see. On my own, chasing you down. What was it made you run? Trying your best, just get around. Only questions of 1,000 dreams. What you do and what you see.
Come, ye rascals and wholehearted lovers of life. Come, ye fretful or grieving souls who are not sure why you tuned in. Come, ye newcomers and old-timers and in-betweeners. Open your heart to the beauty of this day. Welcome to the power of love that we generate through the airwaves into each other's homes. Let us be one in that life-giving spirit. And with all that we are, let us worship together. Good morning, everyone. I'm Reverend Hank Terse, minister of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Reading. It is good to be with you this morning. It is just good. Now, let us light our chalice.
Would you join me with our chalice lighting words? In the light of truth, the warmth of community, the fire of commitment, we gather this day. May the flame we now kindle be to us a symbol of the holiness we seek. Our children's affirmation reminds us what it means to be Unitarian Universalists. We are Unitarian Universalists, the Church of the open mind, the loving heart, and helping hands.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Reading, Massachusetts. My name is Andy Gatchell, and I'm a member of the Worship Arts team. My pronouns are he, him, and his. Our mission statement declares that the U Church of Reading is a welcoming place to nurture and explore individual spirituality, build a committed and loving community, and heal the world. We are an intentionally inclusive congregation serving communities north of Boston and beyond. If you're watching the initial 10 a.m. Sunday broadcast, please pour yourself another cup afterward and join us for our Zoom coffee hour. The link is in this week's newsletter. For the last few weeks, we've concluded this portion of the service by suggesting you relax and take a deep breath. I hope the events of January 20th made that a little easier for you. I know it has for me. So, relax as much as your coffee allows, no matter how you identify, or what you believe, or whether you've been vaccinated. We welcome you. You belong here, maybe for the next 45 minutes, maybe much longer. You belong here, and we're grateful you stopped in.
Over my head, I hear music in the air. Over my head, I hear music in the air. Over my head, I hear music in the air. There must be a God somewhere. Over my head, singing in the air. Over my head, I sing in the air. Over my head, I sing in the air. There must be a God somewhere. Over my head, I see trouble in the air. Over my head, I see trouble in the air. Over my head, I see trouble in the air. There must be a God somewhere. Over my head, I feel dance in the air. Over my head,
Hello, friends. I'm Katie McQuage-Lucas, the ministerial intern, and my pronouns are she and hers. Today I want to talk a little bit about a particular kind of meditation, and it comes to us from the Buddhist tradition, one of the world traditions that we, as UUs, recognize as a source of wisdom. This is called metta meditation. And metta is a word that's hard to say in English. We usually say loving kindness, all one word. But we could also say gentle friendliness or caring. This kind of meditation is a way for us to practice caring for people. And it's one where we use our imaginations to hope for happiness, for the people we love, for people we maybe find it a little bit hard to love, for strangers, and even for ourselves. So take a moment to get comfortable. Maybe you're sitting in a chair, maybe you're on the floor, maybe you'd be more comfortable standing up, so do whatever you need to do to settle in and relax. And close your eyes and take one deep breath and out again. And now take another deep breath in and keep breathing slowly and steadily as we go through this together. And we'll start with ourselves. Imagine yourself happy and safe and healthy. We don't always know what will make us happiest, but we can imagine what it feels like to be happy. And so maybe you can remember a time when you felt joy. Maybe you want to imagine something that you're hoping for, but let's take a minute and picture it. And now breathe in. And as you breathe out, say to yourself, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, may you have joy. And now we'll turn to people that we love. And this can be someone very close to us, like a family or a friend, but it can be anyone we care about. And we can make good guesses about what might make our friends and family happy, what makes them feel safe, the things that let them know that they're loved and cared for. And even if we can't imagine the specific things, we can picture them smiling and happy. So hold that picture in your mind and say to the person you love, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, may you have joy. And now we're going to think about people we don't know very well. So we don't know if we would like them or not. We don't have strong feelings either way. Maybe you're going to picture a stranger that you just saw walking down the sidewalk, someone you saw at the store. And we're going to take a few seconds and be curious, and we'll wonder what might make them happy, and we'll practice wanting them to be happy and safe. So try to picture them. Imagine what might make them happy, and say to the stranger, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, may you have joy. And the next one's going to be harder, so maybe we need to take another breath in and out. And we're going to think about someone we maybe don't like very much. Perhaps it's somebody you had an argument with, or maybe you think that what might make this person happy isn't a good thing. And this is why we have to practice. We can practice wanting them to be happy anyway, because we hope that if everyone were really happy and healthy and safe, that those things wouldn't go against each other. We can try to imagine what the world would be like if everyone had enough, and we can want that. And so we can try really hard to want even people we don't like to be happy. So picture that person and really try in your heart to be happy that they're happy and to want that for them, and say, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, may you have joy. And so let's go back to the idea of what the whole world would be like if everyone were happy and healthy and safe. All the people you know, people you don't know, and all the beings that aren't people, like trees and animals and rivers and the earth itself. And now breathe in, and as you breathe out, say to the whole universe, may all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be safe. May all beings have joy.
Let us open our hearts in prayer. May the joy that we feel today be the smile that we share tomorrow. A time for all things, that all things might be blessed. May the grief that you knew yesterday be the comfort that you share today. A time for all things, that all might be blessed. May the hurt that you felt today be the forgiveness that you share tomorrow. A time for all things, that all might be blessed. May the seeds you sowed yesterday be the fruit that you harvest today. A time for all things, that all things might be blessed. In springtime and in winter, in dancing and in mourning, in healing, in life, and in death. Thou, we have endured the hard night of struggle for our nation's soul. And we found ourselves looking inward to each other, to all sources of wisdom for guidance. Aid us to find what we need to move ourselves, our community, our nation, and the world forward. Be with us as we dare to feel hopeful. Be with us as we plan and try and fail and succeed. Today, this Sunday, we offer up our prayers of wisdom and strength for our new President Biden and our new Vice President Harris. May they be guided by a concern for building a society marked by authentic justice and freedom. We have been given a number of green cards this week. And the first one we start with is one from me. This coming Wednesday marks the 1-year anniversary of the death of my dear friend, Reed Mullen. He is dearly missed. Rosemary Kierstead asks that we keep her niece Michelle in our thoughts and prayers. Another friend reminds us that January 27th is International Holocaust Day, established to commemorate the liberation of Auschwitz concentration camp and the loss of so many lives at the hands of white supremacists. At this time of turmoil in our own country, we should not forget that what can happen when citizens turn a blind eye to persecution, injustice, and discrimination. They add that they will be praying that the world remembers so that all people will actively work to ensure that genocide and injustices that lead to them will never happen again. And Angela Figueredo shares, my husband almost died last March from COVID-19, and I'm happy to announce that he is now fully vaccinated. It is a small step in the grand scheme of the pandemic, but we are experiencing feelings of relief and hope. For all the prayers offered and those that remain in the silent sanctuaries of our hearts, we ask a special blessing. On this day and on all days going forward, let us look to ourselves, into each other's eyes as we recognize that we must find ways to join together as never before if we are to build the future of our dreams. Let us now join in silent prayer and contemplation for a few moments. Amen, and blessed be.
We at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Reading believe the gathering of our resources toward a common purpose is a sacred act. Each Sunday, UUCR gives away half the money received in the collection plate to a nonprofit organization that shares our UU values. It's a simple yet powerful way for each of us to help heal the world. Our Share the Plate recipient for the month of January is Mission of Deeds. Mission of Deeds is a non-profit, volunteer-based organization located right here in Reading, Massachusetts. It is working to break the cycle of poverty by providing beds, furniture, and household goods to families in need. My family has felt the joy of giving to Mission of Deeds several times since we've been in Reading, most recently donating a small pine bench that could also be used as a toy chest. Mission of Deeds is all about changing lives. Their clients are people of all ages, races, ethnicities, religions, and genders. They are vulnerable and struggling individuals or families, including those who were recently homeless, in a shelter, or fleeing domestic violence, as well as displaced veterans, refugees, the elderly, and those living with a disability. The easiest way to give is by going to our website, uureading.org, and clicking on the big Donate Now button. To participate in the Share the Plate campaign, click on the weekly offering Share the Plate. There will now be an offering to sustain and grow the life and mission of this church. If this is your first time here, please accept our gratitude. You've enriched our lives by choosing to share your time with us. Please visit our website, uureading.org, to see more of what we're all about. For the ongoing support of the sacred mission we share, our morning offering will now be gladly given and gratefully received.
Fixing up a car to drive it in again, searching for the water, hoping for the rain. Up and up, up and up. Down upon the canvas, working meal to meal, waiting for a chance to pick your orange field. Up and up, up and up. See a pearl form, a diamond in a rough. See a bird soar high above the flood. It's in your blood, it's in your blood. Underneath a golden umbrella, sand, sitting with a poison takes away the pain. Up and up, up and up. We're gonna get it together right now. We're gonna get it together somehow. Gonna get it together and fly. Oh, we're gonna get it together, I know. Gonna get it together and flow. Gonna get it together and go. Up and up and up. Lying in a gutter, aiming for the moon, trying to empty out the ocean with a spoon. Up and up, up and up. How can people suffer? How can people part? How can people struggle? How can people break your heart? Break your heart. Yes, I wanna grow, yes, I wanna feel, yes, I wanna know. Show me how to heal it up, heal it up. See the forest there in every seed, angels in the marble waiting to be free. They just need love, they just need love when the going gets rough. We're gonna get it together right now. We're gonna get it together somehow. Gonna get it together and fly. Oh, we're gonna get it together, I know. Gonna get it together and flow. Gonna get get it together and go. And you can say what is or fight for it. Close your mind to take a risk. You can say it's mine and clench your fist and see each sunrise as a gift. We're gonna get it together right now. We're gonna get it together somehow. Gonna get it together and flower. Oh, we're gonna get it together, I know. Gonna get it together and flow. Gonna get it together and go. We're gonna get it together right now. We're gonna get it together somehow. Gonna get it together and flower. Oh, we're gonna get it together, I know. Gonna get it together and flow. Gonna get it together and go. Fixing up a car to drive it in again when you're in pain, when you think you've had enough. Don't ever give up.
This morning's reading is an excerpt from a letter from Birmingham jail, written by Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. My dear fellow clergymen, while confined here in the Birmingham City Jail, I came across your recent statement calling my present activities unwise and untimely. Seldom do I pause to answer criticism of my work and ideas. If I sought to answer all of the criticisms that cross my desk, my secretaries would have little time for anything other than such correspondence in the course of the day, and I would have no time for constructive work. But since I feel that you're a man of genuine goodwill, and that your criticisms are sincerely set forth, I want to try to answer your statement in what I hope will be a patient and reasonable terms. I am in Birmingham because injustice is here. I am cognizant of the interrelatedness of all communities and states. I cannot sit idly by in Atlanta and not be concerned about what happens in Birmingham. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. Never again can we afford to live with the narrow, provincial, outside agitator idea. Anyone who lives inside the United States can never be considered an outsider anywhere within its bounds. You deplore the demonstrations taking place in Birmingham, but your statement, I am sorry to say, fails to express a similar concern for the conditions that brought about the demonstrations.
So let me tell you about what I was going to preach on, and then I'll preach on what I am going to preach on. So the passage that we heard that Andy read there, a passage from the Reverend Dr. King's letter from the Birmingham jail, I'd chosen it for two reasons. One, being that this afternoon after coffee hour, we will be continuing our discussion of on anti-racism and anti-oppression. And we will be discussing that letter, as well as a sermon that Dr. King gave. And secondly, I chose that letter because it was a response to a letter entitled A Call for Unity. The Call for Unity was a letter composed by 8 clergymen, and yes, they were all men, writing a call for unity. And in their letter, they could only see in their correspondence the unrest when the oppressed marched for the rights that had been denied them. They were blind to the unrest when Black houses were bombed, or Black bodies were hung, and Black people having no rights to which white people were obliged to respect. They couldn't see that unrest at all. And then we have Reverend King's response in his letter from the Birmingham jail, where he told these moderate white religious leaders that freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor, but it indeed must be demanded by the oppressed. Now, there were editorials in the New York Times and the Washington Post and many other papers calling for unity and telling Reverend King to slow down, not cause so much trouble, etc. But since Reverend King wanted to talk about a moral issue, he chose that letter written by those men, which was calling for unity, because they supposedly were moral men. Reverend King also understood what I think we all can understand, that more often than not, calls for unity are words that mean at best, not yet, but more often they are a call for those who realize that they are on the wrong side of history to try to keep others with them on that side. For example, we heard plenty of calls for unity immediately after the attempted coup. Senator Ted Cruz from Texas tweeted the day after the attack on the Capitol. He wrote, "It's really sad. At a time of deep national division, President-elect Biden's choice to call his political opponents literal Nazis does nothing to bring together or promote healing. This kind of vicious partisan rhetoric only tears our country apart." I mean, this is the definition of gaslighting, isn't it, right? He's trying to manipulate the situation so that the hearers think that he's the moral one. Now, like I said, I was going to preach on this, on so many people who previously had not been acting in unity, but all of a sudden were calling for unity. And to be honest, I was worried because our president had talked a lot about unity previously, and I was afraid that he was going to be swayed by those who were on the wrong side of history. That he was going to, maybe out of loyalty to the system, that he was going to side with them. That system that needs overhauling. But this call for unity that so often occurs is saying, stay on this side of the system. Stay with this system. We don't know what's going to happen out there, but you and I know that system is not just broken. It can't just be repaired in a call for unity. Let's come back. Let's look at things. Let's re-engage. Let's talk. Let's figure out things out. That system is not broken. That system is evil. That ugly, evil, racist system was around at the founding of this nation, and it continues today. In recent weeks, we've seen it raise its ugly head again. It was on the steps of the US Capitol. We saw evil raise its ugly head right there. And I certainly do not want to unite with that, because even though others say, if we don't unite, things will be worse, They've already been worse. We don't need to be on the side of that. The Reverend William Barber, the leader of the Poor People's Campaign, said this recently. The only way to establish domestic tranquility is to establish justice. Pretending that we can address the nation's wounds with simplistic calls for unity, that is not how we close the breach. The breach is telling lies when we need truth, greed when we need compassion, fighting one another when we need to find common ground, and hating when we ought to be loving. Yeah, I was going to tell you all about the simplistic calls for unity. And then Wednesday happened. Which Wednesday? Good question, because we've had 3 big Wednesdays in our country, these last 3 Wednesdays, right? On the 6th was the violent attack on the Capitol. The 13th was the impeachment. And then on this past 20th was the inauguration. And it's that last one I'm talking about. Yep, I was planning to tell you all about, I was planning to tell you all the truth about these calls for unity. And then Wednesday happened and my heart was turned by a single word, a religious word. Now, I'm not sure if anyone on that platform said it, but it was said by and to the folks that watched here at the church that watched the inauguration together. We said it. The word was hope. As soon as Justice Roberts said, "Congratulations, Mr. President," tears welled up in my eyes, and maybe in your eyes too. Though, to tell you, I think those were tears of relief, but it opened me up. I was vulnerable to the words of a political leader who was compassionate and empathetic. And then he said these words about unity. Today, on this January day, my whole soul is in this, bringing America together, uniting our people and uniting our nation, uniting to fight the common foes we face: anger, resentment, hatred, extremism, lawlessness, violence, disease, joblessness, hopelessness. With unity, we can do great things, important things. We can right wrongs. We can put people to work in good jobs. We can teach our children in safe schools. We can overcome this deadly virus. We can deliver racial justice. I know, he continued, I know speaking of unity can sound like some foolish fantasy. I know the forces that divide us are deep and they are real, but I also know that they are not new. Our history has been a constant struggle between the American ideal that we are all created equal and the harsh, ugly reality that racism, nativism, fear, and demonization have long torn us apart. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. And it made me feel like, for the first time in a long time, that somebody in power was speaking truth. It seemed like an exorcism on that spot, on that sacred spot there in the Capitol building, an exorcism of the violence and hatred that had been visited on that spot. It was good. I'm still a bit of a cynic when it comes to politicians, but it was good. He was saying the right stuff, but it wasn't quite hope yet. And then a young woman named Amanda Gorman stepped up and spoke words as beautifully as she was on that morning. And she said, "We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover. And every known nook of our nation and every corner called our country, our people diverse and beautiful will emerge, battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as if we free it, for there is always light. If only we're brave enough to see it, if only we are brave enough to be only we are brave enough to be it. Hope. Hope. That word, that strong and confident expectation that things will get better. Spoken by this beautiful young American who embodies that word. And she reminded me of my beautiful daughters and of your beautiful children and my confident expectations that things will be better for them. That was it. That was it. That's when I knew I couldn't talk about unity or false senses of unity, but that I had to affirm the hope that we saw, the hope that we all felt that day. Ms. Gorman even gave us a directive: rebuild, reconcile, and recover. Rebuild our communities, get everyone back together, reconcile with those with whom we've been estranged, and recover the hope that we have for ourselves and our world. Now, as an aside, I do want to mention that's what we're doing here at the church. The board was on retreat yesterday, and we are planning to figure out how and when we're going to reopen the church, what that's going to look like, what do we want to take with us into the future from our present crisis? What do we miss that we want to make sure we don't forget to return to? And what have we missed that we're happy to leave behind? To rebuild, reconcile, and recover is a directive for our church, a directive for you and me, a directive for our nation. There is a lot of work to do. And it is time for us to be bold in our thoughts, in our words, and our actions. And so may we be inspired from the words of the 30th Psalm that President Biden shared. Weeping may endureth for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. May it be so. May it be so.
Good morning. I'm Melissa Martin, your Member Services and Volunteer Coordinator. My pronouns are she and her. Details of all that I'm sharing with you today can be found in this week's emailed update. You can subscribe to our newsletter updates through our website, or reach me through my contact information below this video. As you hear in our children's affirmation each week, we are a church of open mind, loving heart, and helping hands, living our mission through opportunities for all ages. This week truly invites friends of all ages to participate. Local friends, have you had a chance to visit our Loring Porch this year? This week there are 3 real opportunities for you there. First, Sally, our Director of Lifespan Religious Education, has curated a beautifully accessible lending library for us on the porch of Loring House. There you will find board books, picture books, graphic novels, and reading for all ages. You're invited to sit for a bit and/or borrow items and take them home for a while. Next, while you're there, you'll find coloring sheets that we invite you to color in return to be part of our Kind Notes project. We're seeking 200 colorful pages, either your hand drawing or you can color something in. This artwork will be shared throughout our congregation as part of our Kind Notes project. And friends of every ages are invited to share their kindness in this way. Finally, on the porch you'll find donation bins for the Reading Food Pantry. To be part of this special UUCR food drive, you can drop off your donations until Wednesday, February 3rd. You'll find that specifically requested items are needed by the food pantry, and they'll be listed in our newsletter. If you need assistance with dropping off or picking up any of these items, please contact me or Sally. We would love to help you participate in any or all of these opportunities. Children through grade 6 and their families are invited to our Wednesday warm-up on Zoom each week at 6 p.m. They will light a chalice, check in, and see how and what everyone is doing, and the ways that they can connect with the UCR and our greater communities. As we do each week, we have our special Zoom social hour after the premiere of this service. After social hour today, in the same Zoom room, we will continue our adult anti-racism, anti-oppression discussion series at 12 p.m. And this week's session, we're honoring Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. by discussing some of his writings, the links of which were shared in this past week's newsletter. We invite you to join in this discussion today or the next one that we host on Monday, February 1st at 7 p.m. Please feel free to come to whichever session best suits your needs, or both, to join us in this continuing exploration of how we might further our work in anti-oppression and anti-racism. For today, new visitors and friends are invited to join me for my special new visitor welcome at 11 a.m. Thank you for being a vital part of our congregational life.
Please join me in singing hymn number 1017, We Are Building. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate and greed and jealousy. We are working to be free. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. Stay can feed our every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed our every need. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. is our cry. Without these, this world will die. Peace and freedom is our cry.
Please join me in extinguishing our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts. As we look ahead, we know that there is much work before us if we're going to build something better than before. But we know that we can imagine it, that we can aim for something greater, and that we too are included in a more just and happier world. So my blessing to you, this week and all weeks, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, and most of all, may you have joy. Our worship is over, our service begins.
The sun'll come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. Just thinking about tomorrow clears away the cobwebs and the sorrow till there's none. I'm stuck in a day that's gray and lonely. I just stick out my chin and grin and say, the sun'll come out tomorrow, so you got to hang on till tomorrow, come what may. Tomorrow, tomorrow, I love you. Tomorrow, you're always a day away. The sun'll come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. The sun'll come out tomorrow, so you got to hang on till tomorrow, come what may. Tomorrow, tomorrow, I love you. Tomorrow, you're always a day away.